What's going on, HSM? So glad that you're hanging out with us tonight as we close down a series that we've been calling Looking Back. And what we've been trying to do in this series is feature senior voices that have been with us over the past couple of years, because we are at a time where we're going to start transitioning them out because they are moving on to other things, which makes me super sad, honestly, to have you guys start to go. But because they've gone all the way through high school, a lot of wisdom, a lot of experience, and what we want to do is look back, reflect on that ultimately so that we can take more purposeful, more intentional steps forward. So we're going to get into a bunch of questions. I wrote a bunch of stuff down that we'll get to chop it up and have a good time here. But to start out, just so that we kind of get to know each other and everything. So here's my first couple questions. 1, names, and then 2, what's something that you love to do? And then 3, what's something that you love to eat? Okay, so name, something you love to do, something you love to eat. Whoever wants to start, we can go. Go ahead.
My name's Cody Luttrell. Did you say schools?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Go ahead. You can.
Okay. My name's Cody Luttrell. I go to Donegal High School. My favorite thing is to be outside, and I don't have a favorite food. So.
You don't have a favorite food?
I don't have a favorite.
There's not one that stands out.
I mean, seafood and then
there it is.
Beef. Like that.
It's just meat of different kinds. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
So.
Cool. Name.
I'm Emma Kreider. I go to E-Town. My favorite thing to do is just be outside and fish, and then my favorite food is definitely steak.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not a fisherman, you're a fisherwoman.
Fisherwoman.
And there's probably a story that comes with that. I want to hear a fish story.
All right, so I caught this big fish, Amazonic, probably like this big, and my brother decided it would be cool to take it and take a picture with it and then post it on Instagram. And then one of his friends actually commented and said, "We all know that you're lying. It's your sister's fish." And it was my fish.
So the truth is that you are a better fisherwoman than your brother. Okay.
For sure.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just laying it down. Right on. Go ahead.
My name's Rebecca Best. I go to Cedar Crest High School. My favorite thing to do is be outside, throw in track and field at school. And I'm going to do that in college as well. So.
That's cool. That's really cool.
And food. My favorite food is shrimp.
Shrimp. How do you cook them, or just raw, or?
Like all kind, like scampi.
Cool. Cool.
Fried.
Every way. Cool. Right on. All right. So first question then. Want to know from your time in HSM if there is a specific memory that jumps out and just kind of separates from the other one. So favorite memories from your time in HSM. What are you thinking?
So my favorite memory that I've had from HSM is when we went to I think it was called Wilderness Weekend or something like that.
Yeah,
over at Mill Creek Falls in York, and I just had a super fun time, and it was a blast.
Yeah, it was a great weekend. Right on.
My favorite memory from that is
Here we go.
the fireworks. There was fireworks. That was so much fun.
Nobody knows about those. No. How about y'all?
Mine was fall retreat for sure, but I also loved being able to go out to eat with Caroline. That was one of my first memories here at HSM. She invited me to go out to eat, and we were just able to sit down and talk.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Right on. How about you?
My favorite memory was fall retreat and getting to get closer with God, and just my friends that were there as well.
Cool. Real cool. All right. How about kind of moving on from that? Still thinking about your time in HSM, but I'm curious if there are specific folks, just kind of like a shout out time, maybe even of folks that have been just extra influential in you growing over your time in HSM, or just relationships that you won't forget from your time in HSM.
I would say Jackie and Caroline. They've made the most impact on me these last 3 years, really cool. And just definitely pushed me in my faith and walk with God. So.
Right on. How about you?
My life group leaders made a big impact on me. Just got to grow with them and our group, and combined with the other senior boys group, just growing with them too. They really impacted my life. So
that's cool. That's really cool. Yeah.
I definitely thank all the leaders here, and small group as well, because you're able to join with other people that you don't see daily and just talk.
Cool. All right. So you have been a part of a ton of different content in HSM. We've done a ton of different series. We have retreats, all those kinds of things, tons of different teachings. I'm curious if there is a favorite teaching or a most impactful teaching from your time in HSM? One that sticks out more than the other ones do?
I don't have a teaching. I have a verse. So my verse that has really stood out to me over the past 4 years of my high school is Philippians 4:6. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. I'm doing an internship right now, and through that, I really learned that I need to start praying and stop worrying. So,
That's so good.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah. How about you?
At fall retreat this past year, we learned about putting God at the throne of our heart.
Mm-hmm.
So I've definitely taken that to heart. And then I have the verse 1 Peter 3:15 that really stood out to me.
Cool. Really cool.
So mine actually aligns with Becca's fall retreat. I remember Chad and Caleb saying, if you're sitting on your throne, you sit alone. So basically putting God first before yourself.
Yeah, cool. So even kind of like branching it out or maybe taking our focus a little bit more broadly throughout your time in high school, and not even necessarily speaking just to HSM, obviously you've learned a lot about God in that time as you've grown in relationship with him. I'm wondering if there's something in particular that has stuck with you throughout your high school years. So you're like, I learned that about God and that changed me. What do you think?
I would say God's plan is bigger than mine. That he always has a better plan for me, even if I think mine is better, always to lean towards God and pray about it.
Yeah. Just learning to trust and surrender to God, even when you don't totally know where that's going to go.
Yeah,
for sure. How about you guys?
I would say trusting God's timing, knowing that his timing isn't my timing, because sometimes we want things to go our way in that moment, and it's not always God's will. So
Yeah. Trusting God is I think one of the hardest things about following him. It's just that surrender of we have a tendency to always think that our way is the best way, right?
Yeah.
But learning to let that go.
So, like I said, I'm doing an internship for my senior year up at Masonic, and in the beginning, it started out really rough, and I just didn't know what to do. And then I found this one verse, Philippians verse, and I started praying about it. And that's really what I've turned toward, was praying.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Cool. All right. So taking a little bit of a turn now, okay? And this is going to kind of jog some probably harder memories, some tougher stuff that you've had to navigate. I want to know about a time that you struggled to trust God. So circumstances are happening, and you're just having a hard time seeing God in it. And then I want to know how you got through that time. So, yeah, what are we thinking about?
When I was in second grade, or my second through fifth grade, no, I screwed that up. Second through fourth grade, I was private schooled, and at the James School here in Mountjoy. And then my fifth grade year is when I switched back to public school, and that was really hard for me. Because I was going from a class from 3 to 5 kids to a class that had 20 to 30 kids, and it was just hard to get through, and I really struggled with that. And then my transition from junior high to high school, that was another big struggle for me. And I got to talk with my mom, some of the teachers there, and we just got it all worked out, and it was fine for me, and had a blast in high school too. So
transitions can be so hard when all of a sudden everything that kind of changes, and all of a sudden you kind of need to reacclimate to other things, and then communicating to the people that can help you navigate that situation. That's a lot of what I'm hearing from your story too. So communication. How about y'all?
So mine was like kind of now, just seeing everybody like posting that where they're going to school and that type of stuff. And I applied to college and I got in, but I'm actually not going to college. So like just praying about it to God and figuring out which way he wants me to go. So that was hard for me.
Yeah. And just, it goes really a lot to what we were talking about before of we have a plan or we have an idea of what's best, but ultimately trying to surrender that and listen to God as much as possible and then ultimately obey him is incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
So I hear you.
I would say throughout my middle school years, I didn't attend church at all. My family didn't go, but I had as a child. But we were looking for a new church and we were struggling to find one. And then we came here to LCBC and just talking to my mom about God and saying that I really need to put myself back in that setting again, and just learning to put my trust in Him fully with everything.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, all right. So you give those situations, right? And I know that's not the only hard circumstances that you guys have dealt with. So I'm wondering, we wrap all that together, and let's say that there's someone that's sitting with us right now that is just having a really hard time, like they're really struggling. What's something that you would tell them to encourage them in that, or help them through it?
I would say let God lead you through the tough times. It kind of goes back to the thing where, you want to lead yourself through it, but you should pray about it and let Him lead you through it instead of you going all in. Yeah. Let God put you all in. So.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. Yeah. How about y'all?
I would say pray about it. God definitely knows the answer. His path is the path that you should be walking. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. Cody, how about you, man?
Like they both said, pray about it. When he wants something to be done, it's going to be done no matter if you want it to be done or if you don't want it to be done. It's just going to happen because it's God and He does it. He does it whether you want it to happen or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, realizing that we are not in control and that God is ultimately in control, I think is one of the hardest lessons you need to learn. And it's not even just like a learn one time thing. It's like constantly needing to learn that throughout your life. So cool. All right. So I want you to think about the freshman version of yourself, right? So a long time ago, you're like, oh, I don't want to go there. So think about the freshman version of yourself, and I want you to think about what are either one or two maybe of the things that have changed most about you since you were a freshman. So what are one or two of the things that God has changed most about you over your high school years?
So for me, definitely freshman year, I was not all in with God. But being able to see myself now, it's so much better now that I know I have God fully. I got baptized, and that was amazing. One of the best things I've ever could have done.
I still remember it. It was awesome. Yeah.
So just like being fully in and committing myself to Him every day, and not just every other day or every other week. It's all the time now.
Yeah, that's so cool too. And one of the things that I love about your story is like you can say God literally changed you in high school. Night and day difference. It's so cool. So how about you guys?
I've started to pray more and just turn to Him whenever I have struggles. So that's something that has changed since high school. I put more faith into Him too.
Yeah. And that's something that we've talked about so much, about how a relationship with God is so much about just talking to Him and listening to Him and being in relationship. And then as that happens, that's the catalyst for Him changing you. So I love that. How about you, Becca?
I would say that I love myself more now that I know that I know what God says about me, and not what everyone else says about me. And also getting baptized in high school as well. I was baptized as a child, but didn't really know the meaning of that. But now I know the meaning, and I pray every single day. I read the Bible.
I love that. And especially that idea of like insecurity is such a difficult thing to get past in high school, because so many people are trying to tell you what you should think of yourself and who you are. But like resolving to the fact that ultimately God says what is true about you, and He gets to decide what's true about you is absolutely foundational for building on. So, okay, next. The freshman version of yourself. If you could give the freshman version of yourself advice, what advice would you give yourself?
I would say don't focus on what everyone else has to say, because at the end of the day, it's not going to matter. What God says about you is going to matter, and that's the truth. So
that's so good. Yeah.
I would say seek to serve, not to be served. So just reaching out to others, inviting people to church, even though it can be scary. That was one of the best things I've ever could have done. We actually got a group our senior year that we invited to church, and now we're in a life group together. So that's so amazing.
Cool. Yeah, that's so cool.
What was the question?
You're all right. If you were going to give the freshman version of yourself advice, what advice would you give?
I would give myself I would tell myself to pray and trust God, because no matter what the outcome is, you can't help it. So it's going to happen whether you like it or not.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right. So let's say a freshman comes up to you, okay, and they're asking you specifically, hey, I want to grow in my faith. I want to grow in my relationship with Jesus. What's one thing that you would tell them, hey, this is a big deal if you want to grow in your relationship with Jesus?
Get involved with your life group. Get involved with the church. Serve.
Yeah.
There's plenty of opportunities to serve, whether it's the weekends or before HSM. They have different groups that you can get connected to.
Yeah.
Serve.
That's
And talk to your life group leaders. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
Right on. Oh, yeah.
I would say the same thing. Basically, talk to your life group leaders, talk to your friends in the group. Just reach out to people. You're not the only one who doesn't know where to go in your faith. Other people struggle with that too. So if you reach out to others, they can lead you through it.
Really cool. Yeah.
And I would say praying about it, praying what God wants you to do, what God's will for you is, and praying that He allows you to meet the right people.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. So switching gears a little bit now, I want you to think about kind of moving forward, and y'all are moving on past high school. I'm curious what your future plans look like. So you had already mentioned some, so maybe I'll have you start out, but whether it's college or work or military, whatever it looks like.
Yeah, so I'm not planning on going to college. I'm actually planning on dispatching 911.
That's so cool.
At Lancaster County, and then I will also be running EMT, hopefully somewhere. Don't know where yet, but I'm definitely leaning towards Lancaster EMS. So.
Yeah, I love it. I could not do that job, dude. I would like roll up on some kind of tragedy and be like, "Nah, I'm sorry, I can't." So yeah, I love that. Thank you.
I'm working for my life group leaders' parents on their farm, so
Very cool.
going straight to farming, not going to school or anything.
So what you're saying is, if you go to HSM, you'll leave with a job. That's what you're saying.
Hey, you never know. Anything's possible. You never know. I mean,
no, that's great.
there's plenty of opportunities. So
Cool. Go ahead.
I'm going to Lancaster Bible College. I'm studying criminal justice and biblical studies, but I'm also doing track there.
Very cool. That's awesome. All right. So last question. As you move forward, knowing that your circumstances are going to be different after high school, your life is going to be different after high school, I'm wondering what you're thinking about in terms of continuing to prioritize your relationship with God post high school. So what are you thinking about, or how is that going to look for you guys moving forward?
Well, I'm going to a Bible college, so most of the people there,
Yeah.
are having or do have a relationship with God, but just finding the right friend group that are going to put God first and keep pushing me in my faith as well as I pushing them.
That's so good. Yeah. How about you?
Surrounding myself with the right people, also doing the same things I do every night, reading the Bible, praying, hopefully serving in the church more. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So,
And I even love what you said, like, some things will change. However, a lot of the disciplines that you've already been working on, things that you've kind of ingrained into your routine, like those things can stay consistent. That's so good. Yeah. How about you, Co?
I'm gonna keep continuing to serve every Saturday night and just keep praying and reading my Bible. And now that I'm working with my life group leaders, both of them actually, they both work the same place. So we'll keep each other afloat with God. So
just surrounding yourself with good people.
Yeah,
Cool.
definitely.
Cool.
So.
Well, I want to thank you guys for coming and doing this and being a part of this. And also for y'all, want to thank you for tuning in tonight. I want to speak specifically to those of you that aren't seniors, though, and say we've been in this series, we're talking about looking back and reflecting. You don't need to be a senior to do this, right? So even with where you're at right now, even just looking back and saying, hey, how can I learn from my past experiences ultimately so that I can take more purposeful, more intentional steps forward? That's something that every single one of us can do, and we'll encourage you to keep doing that as well. So hope you have a great night. See you guys.